Hey there, CJ Math students, and welcome to Notes 4.1 Part 1. We are in Unit 4, this should say 4, and we're on expressions. All right, so it says look at the following problems and solve them. So this says find the value of the expression by using different orders of operations. Are your answers the same? So unfortunately these are exactly the same thing, so you can cross off this entire section right here. But it says add and then multiply. So you want to add 5 plus 2, which is 7, and then multiply 7 times 6, that's 42. But here you want to multiply, then add. So 2 times 6 is 12, then add 5 plus 12 is 17. So did you get the same answer? No, you got 42 in one and 17 in the other. Let's add, then subtract. So add, that's 10 plus 4 is 14, minus 2, we get 12. We want to subtract, then add. So 4 minus 2 is 2 first. And then 10 plus 2 is 12. So did we get the same answer? Yes, we did. Let's divide, then multiply. So divide, 12 divided by 3 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Multiply, then divide. 3 times 2 is 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Did we get the same answer? No. So basically, this was an exercise in determining that we absolutely need order of operations in our life. If we don't have order of operations, we can do the same problem and get different answers. And so the key idea is without a specific order of operations, we'll be constantly getting different answers. And that's why we have this thing called PEMDAS that tells us exactly what the order of operations we need to follow when evaluating or solving or figuring out expressions with multiple, more than one operations. So PEMDAS says you do parentheses first, anything within parentheses or brackets. You can put a comma here or brackets. And then you do exponents, anything raised to a little value, an exponent. And then you multiply or divide. Put a big or here, right? Whichever comes first, left to right. So multiplication and division, they're like BFFs. Whichever comes first, left to right, is solved first. So if I do a problem that's like 2 times 5 divided by 5, I do the multiplication first. Whereas if I say 10 divided by 2 times 4, I do the division first because it came first as I read it left to right. Right? And then I add or subtract, again, whichever comes first, left to right. Again, they're also like BFFs. Whatever you do, whatever comes first, left to right, is solved first. These little guys saying, you go first. No, you go first. Right? All right, so hint, remember to write the words PEMDAS. That's what we'll be doing, and then checking off every time you do that, and that way you'll never do anything out of order. Also, get used to this kind of V shape right here. These big, long problems should eventually get into one answer at the end, and it's kind of everything narrows down into a V shape. So let's flip over to the back. All right. So we're going to evaluate each expression, and we're going to show all of our work. So every time we do PEMDAS, we are going to write out PEMD on the same level and AS on the same level, because it's not necessarily we always multiply before we divide. It's whatever comes first, left to right. So as I go through this, the very first thing I see is parentheses, right? So I'm going to underline the 6 plus 2, and I'm actually going to do it. So that's 6 plus 2 becomes 8. Keep it in parentheses, and then literally drop everything else down. So 30 minus 8 times 3. All right? So I've done parentheses. I do not need to do parentheses anymore. This 8 is just saying that I got it from the parentheses. Right? Next, do I have any exponents? No, I do not have any exponents, so I don't need to worry about it. Exponents, again, little numbers raised, base numbers raised to a little exponent. Do I have any multiplication or division? If I read left to right, I do have multiplication. I have it right here, 8 times 3. So I do 8 times 3 first, and that's 24. And then I bring down my 30 minus, right? So hopefully you can already start to see that it's kind of starting to narrow down like we did in the last one. So I go back to my list. I'm done with my multiplication. I don't see any division. Do I see any addition or subtraction? I see subtraction. I do 30 minus 24, and I get my answer of 6. 6 is my final answer. And I don't have any more addition or subtraction, right? So everything got narrowed down, right, to one answer in the end, and we walk through our list and we read stuff left to right. Let's do another one together. P-E-M-D-A-S. Do I have parentheses? Absolutely. Do those first. 4 plus 5 is 9. We can keep it in parentheses or we can remove the parentheses. I'm just going to remove it for right now. And then we'll say 9 times 3 plus 2 squared. All right, so parentheses are gone. Do I have exponents? Yes. 2 squared means 2 times 2. However, 2 to the third means 2 times 2 times 2. That's not 6. 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 times 2 is 8, right? So 2 to the fourth would mean 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That's not 8. That's 2 times 2, which is 4, times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16, right? So you're multiplying this base number by itself. So this one, 2 to the second, actually is just 2 times 2, which is just 4. Right? But it's never just 2 times 3 or 2 times 4. It's 2 times that number itself that many times. So in this case, this exponent becomes 4. We drop everything else down. 9 times 3 plus 4. Then we go through our list. We're done with the exponents. We see multiplication or division. I see multiplication. I'm going to do that multiplication next. That's 27 plus 4. And I'm done. No more division. I'm going to do my addition. I have no subtraction. 27 plus 4 is 31. So I ran out of space to kind of make it a V in the end, but 31 is my answer. That's the end of part 1.